Coming up on tonight's episode of Living Ramadan, we speak to energy healer Hajira Khalfe. Alistair Izobell provides a non-Muslim's perspective on Ramadan. Noha Essop provides an inspirational message. We visit the Mustadafin Foundation. In our global Ramadan feature, Ramiz and Yasin Ibrahim tell us about Ramadan in Hounslow in the UK. And in our location tonight, the Auwal Masjied, we speak to Abdul Ghafur Datay, the Secretary of the Management Board. And we end off with a musical interlude. Salam and welcome to episode 1 of Living Ramadan, the second season on Deen TV. My name is Bawa and I'll be your host for the series. It's the first episode of Living Ramadan for the season, and really appropriately we come to you from the very first masjid built in Cape Town, right here in the Bo Kaap, the Auwal Masjied, established in 1794. The very first Imam of the masjid was Imam Abdul Abdul, also known as Tuan Guru. As we move through this episode, we'll learn more about the masjid, and we'll also be speaking to one of the members of the mosque management about some of the outreach programs they're involved in. But we start today's program with an interview with an energy healer, Hajira Khalfe.
I'm an energy healer. What I do is I help people find the emotions, the trapped emotions that sit in their bodies. And when we have trapped emotions, it actually sits in your cells. So I use various healing therapies to release these emotions. We have such a wonderful opportunity in the fast, to help detox our bodies. So during the day, the body is in a state of relaxation because it's detoxing, it doesn't have to do any work. So why don't we carry on detoxing when we break fast at night as well? And in that way, I do things like juicing, so we break fast with juice instead of sweet milk, and you have lots of salads and vegetable soups, and also start the day off with maybe a detoxing juicing drink and lots of water in the beginning, and then of course the body goes through the whole resting period, and then in the evening you do your veggies again. So it's not adding the sugars and the wheat and the dairy and all of that. And so what I do, how I incorporate this in Ramadan is that, well, our body is detoxing and clearing, so why don't we do a mental detox? Think about our thoughts. Negative thoughts actually sit in our energy field, and it can sit there for decades, and it really affects your body, and that's how we become ill. And then for emotion detoxing, that's the emotions that I do. So you do trapped emotions that sit in your cells, and physical illness actually starts in your auric field. So before it becomes physical, it starts in your energetic field, in your mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. So with the healing modalities of life alignment or body code or any of the other modalities I tap into your physical body. That's the starting point, and then from there we find what the emotion is, and if it's something that started when you were a child maybe, and that emotion is still sitting in your cells, and then I guide you through a process of releasing that. And you have to remember that our body and our emotions are all like layers of an onion. So when you've done one layer, don't think that's done. There's actually just carries on with layers and layers. So people are always in it's always in a process of clearing, and we are a work in progress. So I'll take a process called body code, okay? And what I say to my clients is probably do maybe 3 or 4 sessions. It's no help doing just one session. That's not going to work. So what I do is I'll sit with them and we work out the intention. And that I'm finding is that just so precise and so amazing how when you work with intention, so you work at niyat, you make that niyat for what is it that I want to clear this time. And it's amazing how we'll find the body point, where it is, what happened, and then I find a time frame if it's appropriate, and we find the emotion as well. And I can just give you one word of an emotion, and something that would have happened to you maybe 15, 20 years ago, completely forgot about it. Well, oh my goodness, I remember that, and then I release it. So with body code, what I do is I release through a magnet down your back. But there's other modalities like life alignment, where you're lying down, and it's just a more vigorous process. It's about being spiritual, but trying to find the balance. Trying to find the balance between the spiritual, the physical, the mental, the emotional. And I think that is what is meant to be. We should actually be covering all aspects of our lives. And I think it's more about just trying to find the balance, which isn't very easy in our stressful life.
Great advice from energy healer Hajira Khalfe. I'm going to have to watch those samosas and dalchis in Ramadan, I think. It's episode 1 of Living Ramadan. I'm Bawa, your host for the season, and I really hope you'll stay with us for the entire 10 episodes over the final 10 days of Ramadan on Deen TV. We are at the Auwal Masjied, as mentioned, and we are at the masjid, which is the first masjid built in Cape Town, and here in the Bo Kaap. And alongside me here is one of the Qur'ans, in fact the very first Qur'an that was written. The notes here refer to the fact that this is a handwritten Quran which dates back to the 17th century. Imam Abdul Qadi Abdul Salam, also known as Tuan Guru, who we mentioned earlier on, was the very first Imam here of the Auwal Masjied, and he wrote this Quran from memory, and it is here preserved for all to see. We're going to be taking a look at a non-Muslim's perspective now of the month of Ramadan.
There are so many amazing things about being a Cape Townian, and so many beautiful things in this wonderful city that we are privileged enough to live in. But as one reminisces and thinks about your childhood, and particularly now as our Muslim brethren are embarking on the holy month of Ramadan, one reflects on one's childhood and the amazing kind of beauty that comes along with the month of Ramadan. I remember vividly not only the sharing of food, the complete selfless acts that happens during the month of Ramadan, but also die dinge wat die mense onthou as kind, waar jy sien die barakatte word omgedeel by die verskillende bure, and how the excitement and the tangible solemnness of the month of Ramadan. So in Cape Town, the cross-pollination of the respect that goes along the different religions, and particularly how the month of Ramadan has become so protected and respected by different religions in this beautiful cosmopolitan city of ours. So as our Muslim brothers and sisters embark on this holy month of Ramadan, we not only wish you strength, we wish you the solemnness that comes with it, we wish you the blessings that you will be embraced with, and as we respect, reflect, embrace and celebrate the month of Ramadan with you, know that it is completely one of the most beautiful and most significant moments and months in the year that we all from different religions embrace you with and celebrate with you. And so as a child to a teenager to being an adult now, it is a beautiful moment, and a moment that we all know is filled with love and joy and peace. So from myself, Alistair Izobell, and my family, I wish you a blessed month of Ramadan. I trust that whatever you need to be reflective on and whatever blessings you encounter, may you embrace it, may it make your soul smile, and may it make you just be loving, respectful, and embracing of everyone that you encounter as you embark on the holiness and what Ramadan stands for. So Ramadan Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters as you embrace the month of Ramadan.
Episode 1 of Living Ramadan is what you're watching at this moment, and I hope you'll stay with us for the full extent of our episodes, 10 over the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. We are coming to you from the Auwal Masjied, which is the very first masjid to have been built here in Cape Town. It came into existence in 1794 during the British occupation of the Cape, and from the period from 1804 to 1850 it was very much an integral part of Islam in Cape Town. Right next to me here, this particular piece of rock is the original rock that the mosque was kind of built on from part of the foundation of the masjid back in 1794, and an example of the kind of rock that was available at that time. And this piece has been cut out from the renovations that have been made at the mosque over the years, just to depict the original rock formation. We'll find out a little bit more about the renovations. There have been a few stages of that over the years in a little bit, and we're also going to be speaking to one of the members of the management of the masjid about the outreach activities that the masjid is involved in during the year as well as during Ramadan. But speaking about outreach programs, we're now going to be having a look at the Mustadafin organization and the good work that they do in the community. But first, an inspirational message from Noha Essop.
There's a beautiful quote by Rumi that I love, and the quote is, "Wear gratitude like a cloak and it will fill every corner of your life." It's something that I live by. It's something that I aspire to be and have every day, and that is to be grateful, and not just grateful for the sake of using words and grateful for things that went right. Grateful for everything. There's major blessings and lessons in the things that perceivedly went wrong, and that's just the beauty of gratitude, that every religious scripture you look at that speaks about where you are grateful, you will be receiving far more than what you have had before. It's not the reason we are grateful, but it also changes one's internal emotional state to a far more neutral state. So wear gratitude like a cloak, and it will fill up every corner of your life. Mustadafin was established in 1986 due to the Crossroads violence, and it was a group of people from a diverse background that came together to work for the common good, particularly amongst the women and children that were affected in Crossroads. From there, we've grown to an organization that not only work amongst women and children, but with families in a more structured way, in a sense, in our 5 core functions, which is community development, poverty alleviation, education, healthcare, and disaster relief. So that's basically the 5 core functions that we've now worked on, where in particularly in 86, it was those who were affected within the violence. Well, the areas choose us. It's the community that we're working with, and the name of the organization has gone through that particular process, in particularly in Samora Machel, when a disaster happened, and that was with the disaster, and as well as in 2000 with the tornado, the community actually said our organization is coming, and the city didn't know who this organization was, and the community says we are waiting for Mustadafin Foundation, we're waiting for Ntrola to come, and on the basis of that is how we became part of the city's disaster relief organization. There's always room for growth. Never can we able to do what we are doing if it's not for the generosity from our community and the volunteerism that actually is happening in the Western Cape as well as in the Eastern Cape. We founded, as I mentioned earlier, in 86 in the Western Cape, but we also work in the Eastern Cape because of the community that came from the Eastern Cape, and some of them going back to the Eastern Cape, continuing the work that we are doing. Well, in the month of Ramadan, particularly, is a different thing. There's also the focus more on Muslim community, because Mustadafin Foundation came down, the Quran came down to Fidali Nas, the whole of mankind. So we assist everybody. In the month of Ramadan, we're more focused with the Muslim community as the need becomes more in Ramadan. And because Ramadan is also in the heart of winter, and as you know, it's also our 2nd year that we have drought in the Western Cape, the need increases because it's Ramadan in the heart of winter. So our work, even though we're continuing with operation of work that we do, we are still adding to the fact that Ramadan gives us a bit more extra work and not less. We have so many beautiful moments. Our partnership with organizations in seeing that children go back to school. When a young man or woman walk into Mustadafin Foundation and they say, we want to thank Mustadafin Foundation, because of you we are where we are. We are now in our 4th year doing a law, or we're in our 4th year as psychologists, we're going to work within this organization. Or this year we've just matriculated, like last year our first matriculators from 2001 happened, and they became the volunteers, and they're also the 1st year students. Then there's this group of women who stood in the line, were not able to read and write, who's employed within this organization. So if you look at that and you look at the growth of women within this organization, and the fact that majority of the organization staff is women, headed by women, that is a very proud moment for us within a country the way we are today, and within a Muslim organization as well. We've always been an organization who received in kind from the organization. Everything you see here, from our laptop to the equipment that you see, has been given to us in kind. The projects that we have is in dire need of funding to continue the work that we are doing. And we've sent last year 16 youth back to school, from 200 who's now doing the matric at college, at Palco College. We need funding to continue to send many more children back to school. We can't tell the Palco College, look, we have to give you in kind. We unfortunately need cash, and therefore we appeal to the community at large to assist us in cash in order to continue the work that we are doing.
You're watching episode 1 of Living Ramadan, coming to you very appropriately from the very first masjid to be established in Cape Town, here in the Bo Kaap, the Auwal Masjied. We've just watched the Mustadafin organization doing some sterling work to uplift the community of the Western Cape, and just before that we had some wonderful inspirational advice from Noha Essop. This particular masjid, back in 1794, the establishment of it was made possible by land being donated by a woman who was really an icon in the Cape, Saki Bo Kaap. So when the land was donated, the mosque was first established in a warehouse, and then structural changes were made to the mihrab, indicating the direction of the Qibla, and when that took place, they started building the actual masjid in this building which it is housed in at this point in time. Obviously the masjid we are in at this point in time has also undergone some other structural changes over the years. So we are situated on the top at the moment, and this is an area that was established later on to accommodate additional musallis. On my right hand side you'll see there's a staircase on that side of the masjid as well, which also was established later on. This particular masjid has undergone 2 major structural changes to cater for the additional musallis that have come to this mosque as well, and for the other activities that they undertake at the Auwal Masjied. We're going to be looking at a global Ramadan right now as we take a trip to London.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ramiz Ibrahim, and my brother.
Assalamu alaikum. My name's Yasin.
So we're dialing in from a place called Hounslow in West London in England. As you can see us, that's Hounslow Mosque behind us. Mashallah, it's a beautiful mosque. Has been around for about 15 years. As you can see, we're in the heart of the British weather, raining, fantastic grey skies. But in about 20 minutes we'll be breaking our fast, inshallah, with the community of Hounslow. So Yasin will tell you a bit about how our day is with fasting.
Well, we wake up around 2:30 in the morning, and Maghrib is normally around 25 past 9, and Taraweeh starts around 11 o'clock. So by the time we finish Taraweeh, it's 1:30, 2 o'clock. So we don't really go to sleep.
It's about 18-19 hours of fasting, and as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult. But we get by. I have an office job, and it's not easy. You do lack sleep, but you know the community in Hounslow is a very tight community.
It's very diverse. It's very diverse.
Extremely diverse.
We have people from Pakistani origin, Arab origin, and obviously South African origin as well. Our father is from Cape Town as well.
And you've also got a lot of Somalians, Middle Eastern. So the variety of people here in the community is just great.
Community. Hounslow Jamia Masjid is now expanding its mosque as well. There's also a sort of primary school within the masjid. It covers both the government curriculum as well as the Islamic studies. Assalamu alaikum. The time is now to break our fast. It's currently 9:25.
As you can see behind us, there's quite a large congregation at the mosque to break for Iftari. And inshallah we will sit down with all our community and break our fast with them. Assalamu alaikum. I thought I'll just let you have a look inside the mosque. So we have prayed Maghrib Salah, we've had something to eat.
And now we'll be getting ready for Salatul Tarawih, which will finish very late.
We've come to the end of episode 1 of season 2 of Living Ramadan on Deen TV. I trust you've enjoyed today's episode, and we'll follow the series as it unfolds. With me today is the Secretary of the Auwal Masjied Committee, and that is Haji Abdul Ghafur. Haji, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the show. Shukran for having us here at the Auwal Masjied. Tell us a little bit about the imamate of the masjid. Who is the current imam and who have been here before?
Yeah, wa alaikum salam, Mahbub. At the moment, at present, we have Sheikh Ismail Lon. He's the imam of the masjid. We have Maulana Muhammad Kaap, he's also the Imam of the Masjid at present. And then we have Haji Suka, who officiates during the day for Zuhr and Asr prayers. He assists with those walks. Yeah.
And then during Ramadan, what activities are involved here at the masjid? Do you do any outreach programs?
And at the moment, every Thursday, we have an outreach program where they hand over parcels to the elderly and the needy of the community around the Bo Kaap area. They have Thursday mornings a few ladies who handle this whole program.
Okay.
Yeah, and at present for Ramadan, they've been handing over a lot of parcels.
Okay.
And during outside Ramadan, they have food and other needy things that they supply to the community at large.
Okay, so the activities are not just in Ramadan, obviously there's activities during the year as well.
That's correct. Yeah. Okay. We have a few dedicated ladies that handle this program also, yeah.
All right. And then the masjid itself, aside from obviously performing of Salah and Jummah, etc., and Tarawih and things during Ramadan, what other activities take place at the masjid?
At the masjid, at the moment, the Auwal Academy Madrasa is the principal of the madrasa is Maulana Muhammad Kaap. He is the principal of the masjid that runs for the madrasa. It runs from Mondays to Thursdays during the afternoon.
Okay.
And then we have during the evening, Monday evenings, we have a ladies' class, like a Hajj class, where especially the ladies come to learn by Auntie Marodia. And that's basically it. And for Tarawih prayers, at the moment, we have Sheikh Ismail Lon, Dr. Razin Gopal, and Maulana Muhammad Kaap. They are leading us in the Tarawih prayers. We do a full khatam during the month of Ramadan. Yeah.
Okay, and I believe there's a lecture series that takes place.
Yeah, at the moment, presently, Maulana Muhammad Kaap, he is giving the lecture series. That is after Tarawih. And then the first lecture of the Auwal Masjied of the Bo Kaap started off here Sundays, and it goes to the other masjids also. That is Sundays of the Zuhr during Ramadan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shukran for your time. We really appreciate you taking the effort to be with us, and thanks for having us here at the masjid.
Okay, it's shukran for you also making your time available to spare, give history of the masjid, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. Well, with that, we've come to the end of episode 1 of Living Ramadan. I trust you've enjoyed today's show, and we look forward to having you with us again as the series unfolds. For 10 nights of Ramadan, we will be bringing you Living Ramadan Season 2 on Deen TV. Until we meet again, remember to cherish every moment in the company of the special people in your life. Let them know as often as possible that they are important to you, and that you appreciate having them with you, and that you love them dearly. I wish you peace and blessings. Salam.
I remember the days we were never apart. Time was always on our side, but now you're gone, I'm alone, and I still stay strong, 'cause I'll see you again someday. God knows it's hard for me, so hard for me. Without you, you're by my side. But I have faith that Allah will see the good in you, and I'll see you again in Jannah. I'm building bridges to the sky with every breath that I take. I hope to get there someday, one day. It takes my breath away. I hope to take it all in, spend eternity within. I hope to get there someday, one day. I hope to see you there. Dreams we had thoughts we shared keeps on playing in my head. I see your face all the time, but I can't rewind the day that you left me. Pictures can take your place, windows can fill your space.